Thank you for tuning in to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno, and today I'm going to be running through with you day 2 of the 2018 National Sports Collectors Convention. So I got up a little bit late today, intentionally, because I needed another hour of sleep, because I was up till like 2:15 in the morning last night, prepping the article for day 1. It's a lot of work. I really enjoy it, though, and that's kind of what keeps me going. It's fun. Sometimes I just wish there were more hours in the day. But whatever the case, I got up a little bit later, got to the convention hall, and kind of just started really where I ended the day prior, and I just kind of continued serpentining. I only made like, I went 3 aisles today, only 3. I went up to 13 aisles yesterday, I did 3 today. The reason being is that I found some really excellent booths that had really great inventory, good selection, good prices. And on the flip side of that, I also, saw a lot of the other end of that, which is, some booths just didn't have very good prices and not very good inventory. But, it's kind of what you do is you kind of look on one side, look on the other side, and you kind of peruse. And if you see something, what I do is I might see something and be like, okay, so I'm going to take a few moments to kind of look through and see if it has any life in it. If there's any life intact, I'll kind of sit and be like, okay, let's see if there's, this has potential, and I'll just kind of go through and pull out things as I see. But if there's no signs of life, I just kind of move on. I'm like, okay, the prices are too high. I don't want to deal with the haggling, because the person, if he's quoting this card for 12 bucks and I get over here for 3, I don't want to deal with the haggle, or the selection just isn't my style. I'll just continue moving forward, and there's no wrong answer. The only right answer is the one that works for you. So for me, this kind of works for me, and also it's a time thing, it's a resource thing. So if I can't buy it all, and I know that, so I stick to very specific parameters I set up for myself, and I try not to deviate away from those parameters, because when that happens, it kind of opens up this kind of bag of worms. Like, oh my gosh, well, if I got that, I guess I could get these other ones too, And so I try to stick rigorously to what it is I'm focused on specifically. And if I'm not doing Frank Thomas stuff, I do like rookie cards, and I have a very kind of a focus, a theme there, and I try to stick with that. So really cool stuff. I found several bins today that had some really cool stuff, and I was able to acquire and add to my binder, which actually you can see here. Alright, so the binder update. This is really cool. So we're just going to go right into what I bought today. So we're going to flip through. We already saw a good chunk of this, and we've seen a lot of these classics over the last couple of, well, whatever. There's a block of classics there. We're just going to skip those because we're going to get right into the interesting stuff here. So today I bumped into a guy I saw in 2017, last year's National. And this guy I used to go to all the time, and I found him again, and I went through his bin. Last year I went like every day in the morning. This year I was like, okay, I found him one time, I'm just going to go this one time, blow out all the stuff I want, and be done with it. So here's the stuff I grabbed. So like I said, we're going to skip the classics, go straight into this. This is cool. This is a minor league Kevin Mitchell card. Really rad. I like that. I haven't seen that card before. Haven't really looked for it either. A Puckett Fleer rookie. We got a Roger Clemens Topps and Jack Morris. This card is relatively inexpensive, I think, even now. He's a Hall of Famer. I have quite a few of those already, but these are still, the Trammell Molitor is a card that I'm still acquiring from here and there, depending on price. So I got 2 of those, and a Julio Franco, really rad. And let's see here. So we got 2 Tony Gwynns and the Donruss. And this is cool. We got the Donruss, the Fleer, and the Topps, the base Topps, Ripken rookies. They're not in great shape. They all have flaws in some way. Like this one's got like not the greatest of corners. This one's got some. It's kind of like an edging issue happening over here. And the Topps card has a dinged corner. But whatever. I mean, I think I paid $5 for the Topps, and then like these were $2 and $3, I think, because of the conditions. So I just think they're worth it at that price even. I got a 83 Topps Sandberg. Can't go wrong with those. Another Steve Young rookie, and a Topps Gold rookie Shaq. I think that's a really rad card. And I know that card was worth quite a bit of money when it first came on the scene in '92. And so I just really like that card. It just reminds me of when I was young, hearing about the Shaq craze back then. Let's grab those. And then, oh, this is a cool block here. We got a chipper I hadn't seen previously, a minor league thing. A Kurt Schilling minor league card, which is pretty rad. Really like this one. This is a young photo of Mr. Schilling. I've always respected Schilling. Of course, I didn't really pay much attention to him until he played with the Red Sox and really started to dominate in his career, kind of several years into his career, really. Then we've got this 91 Best Gold nameplate Jim Thome rookie card. Well, it's not really rookie, it's a minor league card, but I really like this card a lot. Got a couple of these Mike Piazzas from 1992 Classic Best. Really dig these. I got two of the base whites and then the silver one in the middle. Those are cool. This is cool. This is the 1986 Don Jennings Mark McGwire, but the autograph I don't think is authentic, and I didn't buy it for the autograph. I bought it because I don't know if I have this card or not. Well, now I do, but I may have one example in the archive, and I've got two. And that's kind of cool. It's got some miscellaneous autograph on it. Who knows? Maybe I'll send it for authentication, see what passes. I don't think it will, though. Ruben Sierra. This is a cool set. Really kind of a young shot of Mr. Ruben Sierra. And a Chicks Bo Jackson I hadn't seen previously. I know they make this in silver border. I hadn't seen this gold one before, so for the price, it was pretty cheap. It was like, I think 50 cents, maybe less than that, bulk deal, if I calculate the mathematical breakdown of it. Moving on here, we got an Albert Pujols card from 2000, I believe that is. It's just a minor league thing, and I think that was half off of $2, so I paid $1. I can't go wrong with that. Pujols is an amazing baseball player. It's Columbus Clippers Mattingly. This is the second one I have now, and you know, authenticity, I think some people might question. I think it's real. I think this is an authentic release. I don't see them too frequently, so I grabbed this when I saw it today. A 91 Leaf Gold, Jeff Bagwell. Those are rad. That insert set's kind of cool with all those young stars. A couple Jeter minor league sort of releases from the Classic, and a Ted Williams set that was hot for a minute back in '94. And this foil bordered Manny Ramirez card, of which I have a regular non-foil border version. And I saw this and I was like, I hadn't seen that before. That's cool. I'm going to grab that. It's got that flat foil finish along the edges there. Centering's not great, but what do I care? I'd not seen a card before. Grab that. A couple of Shaq rookies. We got the 92, 93 Ultra rookies, all rookies. I remember that being a huge card back then. I remember pulling Alonzo Mourning, and this and Alonzo were the two big cards in the set. Latrell Sprewell was another one too. That was a big one. So this is cool. This is we're going to get to this in a minute, actually. This is the draft picks from 92 Classic, and we'll talk about that in a sec. This is a TriStar Sports St. Louis show promotional for 92 Classic. So this one in the middle is actually a National Convention promo from 92. It says down there on the bottom. Pretty cool. I like that. And here's the other statement on the back of the other one for promotional use only. Kind of rad. All right, moving on. So we got a Bagwell 91 traded. I saw a couple of them today. I only picked up the one. I think I only picked it up accidentally because it was like, well, not accidentally. I think I wouldn't have picked it up if it weren't the price it was, which I believe was 50 cents. You know, just whatever. That's a fine enough price. I think beyond that, I wouldn't have bought it. But middle one is actually a Tiffany, the Rafael Palmeiro rookie, a Tiffany, and Paul O'Neill rookie. Again, that's a 50-cent card. The more desirable 91 Upper Deck Brett Favre rookie, and these Mike Messina and Jim Thome 91 Bowman rookies. I only got these because I don't think I have them, and I just wanted to have an example of them. I typically don't buy into the 90s and forward junk wax stuff because there's just so much of it. But I mean, there's also a lot of 87 Topps junk wax stuff too, but I tend to buy that. 91 Griffey variation. I really like this card. It's just kind of cool. A couple 93 Stadium Club first day issues. I got Rob Alomar and Chili Davis. These are really, really cool cards. I bought one yesterday and I found 3 more today. This is from 92 Select. This is the Select Ace set. So we got Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens, Dave Fleming. Man, I don't recognize Dave Fleming's, but, you know, I guess he was a stud back in the day. 86 Topps box bottom, Reggie Jackson. I mean, again, this was like a 50-cent card. I figured just good, like, sort of a reference to the set representation, so I grabbed that. This is cool, Collector's Choice, Toast of the Town, Tony Gwynn. These are actually really pretty cards in person. They have the flat foil with the gold foil team logo down there. And they have pretty, yeah, I mean, they're mildly rare. They're not terribly rare, and they're pretty affordable. I just really like the set. I think it's cool. Toast of the Town. And another one of these 90 Upper Deck, Nolan Ryan, missing the red strip error cards. Moving on here, we've got a couple of 95 Donruss press proofs from, oh gosh, just off the top of my head. We got a, yeah, Chili Davis, Steve Decker, and a Dave Fleming again. Huh, again, 2 pages in a row, Dave Fleming. These are cool. These are Fielder's Choice from Paramount, Ivan Rodriguez and Mike Piazza. Really dig those. Those are really just classic display of Pacific from their era, their heyday. Got the Stadium Club, Extreme Players, Andres Galarraga. I really dig the shine on those. Those are really cool. He's really stretching on that one. Huh. All right, so let's go this way. This card, 94, Fleer, Smoke and Heat. This card, the Nolan Ryan, used to be worth quite a bit of money. Gosh, in 94, I remember this being like a $40 card, maybe more. And I pick them up when I see them. I just like the set. It's not really that attractive in comparison to a lot of stuff that's come out since, but I just really dig the set. I think it's cool still. 90 Fleer, Soaring Stars Griffey. I've always wanted that card. I think this is my first one. I like it. I love this like classic, sort of like Saved by the Bell theme kind of design happening on this card. I really like it. 94 Upper Deck Electric Diamond, Ryan Sandberg. But you're probably like, why'd you buy that? The card is nothing. Check this out. Series 1, they had the silverback variations. Usually you would see these with normal like bronze or whatever you want to call that other color back. Which exists only on Series 2, and it exists in Series 1 as well, but Series 1 also has these silverback variations. I really dig these cards, so I grabbed those. This one's cool. This is 96 Pinnacle Essence of the Game, Will Clark, when he's with the Texas Rangers. Really like that. We'll talk about this middle card in a minute. This is great. Over here we got a 94 Donruss Elite Tim Salmon. This was in a like a quad screw down, one of those big, all huge hunkers from the early 90s. I get it out of there. So this one in the middle was 50 cents. This is really cool. This is a UD Onyx Warp Tech. These are, yeah, my medium level rare, I'd say. And they kind of fall under the radar for a lot of sellers. They just, you know, they might just throw them in bargain bins or whatever. So it's the only one I saw today. I really like this set a lot. I think that Onyx was a great release from Upper Deck, and this really showcases what that release sort of meant, how it sort of kind of effects it produced and kind of its design. I really like the Warp Tech set. So cool. Kerrywood, there you go. A couple of these Lords of the Diamond refractors. I got a Jeff Bagwell and a Tony Gwynn, and in the middle here I've got a Moises Alou 98 Donruss Preferred die cut. You know, it's just the only one I saw today, so I grabbed that. It's 50 cents. I mean, like, it's a no-brainer. Okay, so down here I grabbed 2 of these. I really love this card. 96 Pinnacle, Ripken 2131 consecutive games played. It's like it's the card that ends the set. It's like at the very end of the set. A special commemorative card. I remember buying this card in 96 at a card show, and I've since picked up a few more. I just really like this card. The shine's cool. It's a great picture of Mr. Ripken. It's got the cool like holofoil facsimile signature that blends in with the background. I just dig it. It's cool. It's rad. Love it. All right, moving on. My left hand is kind of sore holding this mess of a pile here. A couple Thomases today, not many. This middle one I didn't have, and I actually passed by it the first time that I went through the stack that had this card, and I was looking for another card. I was like, oh, let's just double check to make sure it's not in that stack. And when I was going through the second time, I found this. This comes from Topps Fire. It's kind of a cool card. Another one of these 93 Leaf Frank Thomas commemoratives that go with that 93 Leaf Thomas batch, but is not part of the set. It's just it's like it's like the header card. And 90 Tops. You're like, why'd you buy that? Well, there's like a slight print defect on this card, and I was like, for the price, like 50 cents, I'm just gonna grab it. It's not in great shape. It's actually in horrible shape. I'd probably grade like a 3. Another 93 Donruss previews. Got a couple of those. Those are rad. I had these are also 50 cents each. So Topps Gold was 1 per box, and I found 2 at 50 cents each. I was like, that's a no-brainer. I'll grab those. And then to top it off, there's a Gold Winners. A little bit more common, the Gold Winners. So I really like this Topps Golds from 92. They're not terribly uncommon, but they're not terribly common either. So grab those. All right, cool. We're gonna move on to the vintage now. We're gonna talk about what I grabbed in the vintage category. I'm really proud of my acquisitions today. This is a fun day. This is a cool page. 72 Topps Ryan. It's my first one. It's got some writing on the corner there. Whatever. 64 Topps Curt Flood. Now that's an SP, and there's one super collector of this card that acquires them like in abundance. I think he has a percentage of the total print run. Like, I don't know if it's significant, but he has like a pretty decent percentage of it. Like, he has thousands of copies of this card. It's like thousands and thousands of them. Pretty cool stuff. I've always wanted at least one example, and this is like kind of a dinger. It's not a great shape, but whatever. It was pretty inexpensive. Rusty Staub All-Star Rookies card. Not a rookie. He was a rookie in 63. This is his 64 card, but I think it's a more attractive card because it's not the quad head card. It just features Rusty Staub, and he passed away recently, so I wanted to get something in my collection from his earlier years, and this is a good representation. 2 more Goose Gossage rookies. Another Blyleven, love that card. Another Sutton, another Jim Palmer, and a I'm sorry, this is Sutter, and this is Sutton. So Sutton and Palmer were purchased from a girl who's acquired a collection from her father. Father just didn't have space in the closet, and so he gave it to his daughter to sell to make money so that she can put toward her equestrian hobby, which I think was really rad. So I bought these 2 cards from her, the Palmer and the Sutton. I have this is I think maybe my 2nd or 3rd Sutton. This one's not in great shape. It's got a crease all the way through in this area. The the Palmer has a crease going like all the way down this way. I mean, whatever. I think it was like it was 5 for him, and then or 6 for him, and 5 for him. I was like, that's a no-brainer. So those are cool. And over here we got I've always wanted this card in the top left, the Gaylord Perry rookie. I've always wanted at least one example. This is not in great shape, but I don't care. Grab that. Curt Flood rookie, also 58. He's pretty pivotal in the hobby. Well, in baseball, he's sort of responsible for creating the opportunity of free agency in baseball. You can read about that. There's a nice little story there. Earl Campbell, rookie. Ken Griffey Sr. rookie. Bobby Gibson rookie. Man, I've always wanted this card too. This card's in horrible shapes. This insanely off-centered, left to right, top to bottom. It's got like some rounded corners, but whatever. Paid $10 for him. I mean, like, you can't go wrong with $10 for a Bob Gibson rookie. That's my first one. There will be others, I'm sure, but that's my first one. I really like that card. Keith Hernandez always reminds me of a Seinfeld episode that I love watching. It's a rookie. And a Dave Winfield rookie. I pulled this, Hank Aaron was $5. The guy had this huge run of boxes. And it was $5 each. So I went through like several boxes, just pulled this one card out for $5. I figured why not? 65 Aaron. It's not in the best shape, but for $5, I can't go wrong there. Steve Garvey, another rookie at him. And I got the Vida Blue and a Bill Buckner rookie. I have a couple Bill Buckner rookies, and every single one I have is in pretty decent shape. I really like that almost every time I find this card, it's almost untouched. I think it's just because it was unloved because it was a common for so long, but he actually had a pretty good career. I always thought he was a pretty solid player in his career. I mean, leading up to the '86 season, anyway. So another David Parker, Another Steve Garvey and another Wilbur Wood. When I saw this, I was like, is this the... No, it can't be the variation. It's the buyback thing. So it's just another version of the normal common example. So that covers my acquisitions for today. I hope you enjoyed that. So one of the gentlemen that had was at the 2017 National. He was here this time. And the 2017 National, I liked his booth so much because of his inventory and his pricing. I went back every morning in 2017 and started at his booth to go through his stuff because his inventory is so good. So I actually bumped into him today again. I went to his booth and I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to be able to come back every morning. Of course, I can if I want. So I'm just going to go through all of his stuff and I'll pull out everything I want in one just blast. So I was there for like over 2 hours maybe. I pulled out like a brick of 140, 150 cards, and we negotiated. I paid him. Then my bag was like really heavy because I got a plastic. I got the cards in there. I was like, man, this is hard. So I'm walking with this thing over my shoulder, and my shoulder's getting kind of sore, both sides, because I'm like switching back and forth. And I'm adding to this pile, like with other booths, and 20 bucks here, 10 bucks there, 5 here, 10 bucks here. So I'm adding things into my bag as it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And I'm like, you know, I don't mind being in pain if it's something I love doing. It's like skateboarding. I'll fall all the time on a trick I'm trying to learn. I'll still get up and do it again because I love skateboarding. Same with like this. Like if I have to carry a heavy bag, it's not this. I don't prefer it, but I'll do it because I love the hobby, and that's fine with me. So anyway, I kind of walk around a little bit more. And I find this card. I see all this stuff at this show. I'm like, well, I want to, get something that's old. Like last year, I was like, I want to get a vintage card, and I found that White Wilhelm, really cool card. And then this year, I was like, well, I want to do something else. So I was just kind of looking around, and out of nowhere, I saw this card. I was like, well, that's amazing. The centering's beautiful. It's a Jim Cat 1960 Topps rookie card. It's PSA 8, and the centering is like the best I've ever seen. In fact, let me get it out for you. Alright, so here's the thing. Before we get to this card, okay, I want to just let you know that I went back to this booth several times to try to buy this card, but the owner, who wasn't manning the booth at the time, I guess he likes, well, my assumption in the beginning was he'd like to be there to close the deal himself because I wasn't able to buy this, and I actually never even met the owner. The reason being is because the other two guys that were manning his booth and the other booth next to him that had permission to sell the card kept saying, hey, come back, he just left, he was just here, and I kind of went back and forth for a while. And I was like, why don't you just contact him and tell him how much I'm willing to pay? And if he counters, fine, we can work it out that way. So I basically said, how much, negotiation room do you have? Like, how much negotiation power do you have? Can you close this deal without him? He's like, yeah, we can do that. So they actually finally contact him, and he responds. I make an offer, and he counters, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So here's the card. After like 3 or 4 attempts going back, this is the 1960 Topps Jim Cat rookie card. And a PSA 8. Beautiful, beautiful centering. This video won't do it justice, but let me reassure you that this card is, to me, as near perfect for the price point as I could possibly get. Even the back is beautiful. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous card. Really liking this. This is one that just when I saw it, I had to like, I had to stop and look because you see so much. You're kind of bombarded with all the really high-end pieces. I mean, it's a beautiful thing going to this show. So when I saw this, I was like, well, I got to have this card. And so I flipped it over, and a guy let me, pull it out of the case, flip it over, and I saw the price. I was like, oh, that's reasonable. Let me see what they're going for online. And I'm not that far away from this, but I did offer somewhere closer to the online actual market value. And so when the guy countered at his price, which was close enough for me, I was like, that's totally fair. I think he was off by like $1.50 from online. I was like, I'll easily pay that. You know why? Because I can see this card before I buy it. And when I looked at it, I was like, God, the centering on this is just, I think, as good as it gets for a 60 Topps card. It is clean. It's nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. There it is again. 60 Topps Jim Cat rookie card. I really dig this. Very underrated card and underrated player. He doesn't get nearly the appreciation I think he should, but whatever the case, he's cool. Oh, what else do we got here? So I didn't put these in my binder because they're just too nice. This one's really cool. But we'll start. Well, these three pieces. They're from. We'll start with the 88 Topps Nolan Ryan. You're like, why'd you buy that? Well, I bought it because I think it was a quarter. And the centering, this is the best example I've ever seen. The centering is like perfect. And the edges are gorgeous. Even the back centering is just on point. It's so perfect. There's the back centering. Really dig this card. Just really like the some of this stuff. I have to kind of go through a lot to find stuff that's nice though, because there's so much of it. These other two are really cool. 85 Topps Don Mattingly. Look at the centering on that one. Man, that's nice. 85 Topps struggles with centering issues. This one is I think as clean as it gets. The back is also very clean, although I'm more concerned with the front. Just a very pretty card. It's pretty. I like looking at it. So later in the day, I found an O-Peachy example of the same card, 85 O-Peachy Don Mattingly. Also, centering is just, I mean, it's near perfection on this one. Really nice. But again, I had to dig through a lot of mud to get to these. And when I did finally get these, I was like, man, these are nice. So here's the back, classic O-Peachy. So I wouldn't normally just grab stuff like this, but if the condition is nice enough and the price point is nice enough, like the Mattingly Topps was 50 cents, and the O-Peachy I think was also another 50 cents. Ryan was 25 cents because they printed this stuff in like crazy bulk. So I grabbed those and my Jim Cat. I'm really pleased with my Jim Cat. I think this card is just so cool. You know, by, I don't know, I'd say probably like 4:45 in the day. I've got my bag on me, which is still very heavy because I haven't done anything with it. It's just been on my back or on my shoulder. I've been carrying it with the two handles. So I'm at this booth looking at this A-Rod card, this autographs minor league thing. I think it's serial number like 2800 or whatever. One of those like signature rookies things. And I was like, that's cool. And as I'm leaning over, I feel the strap like give. And I look back, and it gave, and my bag fell to the ground. Like one of the sides of the straps of my bag just blew out. It's gone. So now I got to carry this bag. I'm losing the access to one hand because I've got to carry the bag now with the two handles. So no more shoulder strap for the rest of the day. So I go, my shoulder's pretty sore at this point anyway, so it could use a break. So I go and I bump into a buddy of mine. I used to read his blog back in 2010, but like before I started Radicards. It's like a long time ago. Or maybe it was slightly after, I don't quite remember now, but it was around those early stages of the brand. So I bump into him, we chat, I'm like, hey, you want to go sit down and talk? Maybe talk about, you know, what I got, what you got, whatever. So we go, sit down, I basically pull out the brick of cards, he goes through and he's like, oh, those are cool, that's cool. We looked at them in the binder today, you and I. He showed me a brick of cards that he had just resubbed to PSA to reslab with the Lighthouse case labels, and he really digs those. And I was really impressed because he has like, there were in that pile. There was like a Mantle 51 Bowman rookie. There was a 54 Topps Aaron rookies. 3 of them. He had 3. He had a PSA 9 Ricky Henderson rookie. It's really clean stuff. And I was really pleased to hang out with him. So we kind of like trade stories back and forth with one another about, like, you know, the cards and why he got him resubbed. Because he got him resubbed because he wanted that Lighthouse label that PSA now offers. Really cool stuff. My Jim Cat actually does not have the Lighthouse label, but I'm not quite as particular as my buddy Eric. I really appreciate him though. He's got a really good taste in cards. Really cool stuff. It was great to see him again. So after that, we actually went over to Evan Mathis's booth, and I took some fabulous pictures of some of his inventory. He's got really incredible pieces, and this stuff is so nice. He's got the one PSA 10 example of the 1990 Topps No Name on front Frank Thomas error card, and he's got a couple I think it's 2003 Topps Chrome Black Refractor LeBron James rookies. He's got 3 of them, and he's got some of those Dwayne Johnson college cards. Really cool stuff. He's got a PSA 10 53 Topps Mickey Mantle. I mean, just his inventory is mind-blowing. It is incredible stuff, and he's a really nice guy. Just glad to bump into him again today. Evan's a really cool dude. I'm probably gonna go back as I serpentine the rest of the aisles. I'll run back into his booth and visit him again. He's a really nice guy. So after that, the night was sort of kind of closing down. I went and said hi to the guys at PWCC, and then kind of just ducked out of there and came home. Hadn't eaten since breakfast, so I just ate quickly, and I had a little bit more time tonight to produce content, so I was really pleased about the time frame there. So it was a great day 2, fantastic. And if you're at the show on day 3, see if you can find me. I'm going to start probably on aisle 1600 and kind of work my way forward, like 1700, 1800, that direction. So if you see me, come say hi. And thank you for tuning in to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Reno, and until next time, enjoy collecting.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.